Black Tie.
Black Tie.
Black Tide.
I'm 19 years old.
I'm 18 years old.
I'm 17 years old.
I'm 14. I'm a singer and guitar player for Black Tie.
I've always listened to rock ever since I was a little kid.
What I grew up on, a lot of 80s hair metal and a lot of southern rock.
What inspires me about older music is that it was raw, it was real. Back then it was just like turn your Marshall to 10 and blast out your feelings. That was it.
When I was 8 years old, I was at the flea market with my parents and saw a guitar.
I started learning like Jingle Bells, Ode to Joy, like your standard beginner.
It was pretty hard the first couple months. Probably a year into it, once you learn the basics, it started coming easy.
The band's been actually together for about 3 years now.
Just started messing around with some cover tunes.
Rehearsing in the garage and just pounding it out for hours on end every day.
Ossus was just amazing from start to finish.
We were invited to play on the second stage for the remainder of the tour. About 8 hours before we were gonna leave, he called us to let us know that Jägermeister wouldn't let us play on their stage.
We got kicked off because we were too young.
No Ozfest for you guys. You're all under 21. I mean, we were all so depressed.
And then after just a couple days of praying things were gonna work out, we got the phone call.
We got booked back on to the main stage.
That feeling was just unbelievable.
It was a life-changing experience.
Just getting to go on tour with some of our favorite bands like Lamb of God and Ozzy.
We were in awe the whole time.
I had to learn how to really play the bass like a bass player should. It was the ultimate learning experience for a rock band.
Writing songs for me is just like, it comes and it goes, you know? But when it's there, it just comes out, it flows.
The album's called Light from Above.
I love to listen to all of them.
Because there's some that I love to play more just because they're like, you know, a little more technical and it's fun.
I love them all.
Definitely Enterprise, just because the parts that I came up with.
Black Abyss because it has like a heavy breakdown at the end.
Shockwave. It's just a straight up in your face rock song.
And it's just got like cool like switch off lead stuff and like cool harmony stuff.
It's powerful and energetic.
It's really fun to play.
Pretty like hands-on and it's pretty aggressive.
We just felt that everybody else would get that feeling.
I hope that like my age doesn't like change any. I just want to be another artist, you know?
Without further ado, let me bring to the stage the Midway State, people. Make some noise!
Take this pill. Met a man who turned away, stole the sun from every day. Met a man with dark brown eyes. Met a man who's throwing lies. Met a man who's.
We're taking a more organic kind of approach. We've been listening to like Fleetwood Mac, Rumors, and stuff like that a lot, and we like that kind of like natural kind of vibe, so that it sounds just like I played the songs on the piano and sang them, and there's like just kind of like a band behind it, like an old Elton John record in the 70s or something like that.
Limousines to keep you high, to keep you safe, keep you in love. What if I change for you? Then will you see me still with you? Will I never do it? Honey. Thinking back of the days that I held you close in your puffy white coat, and you told me, Joe, I can never let go. No one needs you more than my life.
10 pounds and under.
He's starving music.
We gotta live how
So we just got to France. What's the first thing you bought? Well, baguette and the drugstore. This is good baguette. I feel like I'm drinking and driving.
My old house you're looking at, I lived there with my former wife for about 6.5 years. Sold the place for $8 million and bought a shack in Tahiti. It's my permanent residence now, out on the road.
Hey, we are
Tokyo Hotel.
We love big cities and we are all city people, so that's why Tokyo, and we search for a symbol, and we stay a lot in hotels. We are all the time on the road, so that's hotel.
I would describe it as great rock music. Perfect rock music.
Tom, is it hard being in a band with your brother? Do you ever argue?
No, we never argue. Since there's no arguments, he has to stick to my opinion, definitely. The band didn't have to do that much. We just had to re-record some of the songs, and Bill had to sing every song.
It was a big challenge for me to do the English album because English is not my mother tongue, but it is very important to us that people can understand our lyrics.
Fan bases are the most important thing for a band. Without fans, there's no success, nowhere.
Which international act has most impressed you in the last year and why?
David Hasselhoff! Definitely David Hasselhoff, definitely. Yeah, the coolest trip ever, I think.
Ready, set, go, it's time to run. The sky is changing, we are one. Together we can make it while the world is crashing down. Don't you turn around.
We're here at what used to be the Zodiac and is now the Academy in Oxford, and I'm about to sound check and we're just kind of getting ready for the gig tonight. I love gigging. I don't really understand it really when people don't, like, because I think it's what I care about doing the most, like, is either being in the studio or doing a live show. Thursday night, everything's fine. I probably started writing songs when I was about 14 at school. And then also the theatre and the plays and the stories and films and Roald Dahl and Tim Burton and all that stuff that I loved, I kind of wanted to put that into songs as well. But I just think it's about trying to be as human as possible. That's how I try to write. It's just about simple connection, like with a human being, like, and it's about relationships and people and how I feel and if I'm happy or sad or angry or like feeling stupid or like, and not taking things too seriously, but also not being afraid to be kind of sentimental and kind of heartfelt. Made of Bricks is the album title, and that's come from, I feel like, my support, my family, my friends, the protection I feel I have. I think foundations of relationships need to be really strong. The way things go for me is like, you know, you're stacking up bricks, you're building something, you're creating something yourself. Like I feel like I have. It's been very DIY, and I've put people around me. Like my sister takes photos for me, and I've got my friends in my band, and I'm building something. I'm building like the foundations of something of my career and my life.
The album's called Detours, and we recorded it this past summer. It was a very, very inspired process.
Men and women and children all.
You gotta save that for another song. I gotta play Bill, the rock song.
The rock song?
I have it.
The rock song.
I worked with my producer, Bill Bottrell, who did my first record. I hadn't worked with him since then, so it was very nice to have him back in the studio and to collaborate with him again.
Yeah. I was like, you're like this.
I know, well, you know, that's how it feels, but in the best sense of the phrase.
Oh, good.
You know?
Good.
It's fucking awesome.
The song Babylon is really inspired by what's going on politically and what's going on socially around all of us. So it's sort of an end of the world song, but with hope.
I'm Esme Dantes, and welcome to my home in the Netherlands. Come on in. Let me show you where the magic happens, as they say. So this is the room. After putting a video on YouTube, I got signed by Justin Timberlake, 10 Minute Records, and this is the spot where I've recorded all my videos. This is one of my first videos. recording some of my own songs, and I'm really excited. Everything I want, I cannot achieve. Anything is possible. I love working in the studio because it's really a place where I can just be myself, and working with different kinds of people helps me to expand. Turn it up, make your move and don't stop, don't stop. Hey, I'm in Philadelphia right now, recording in a studio with Noise Strip, making some beautiful noise. And I just wrote it yesterday, so I hope it's gonna turn out good. The writing process for me is very important because I love to write, and since I'm not a very out there person and I keep things to myself a lot, I like to explore them in writing. I'm gonna record my own song. It doesn't have a name yet, but it will have a name. You know, working with other people, they really give their own spark to the songs that I do.
Just think about it, kills me. It's like,
Yeah, is it, does it sound?
it'll end up going over the bar line a little bit.
So it's pretty funny when you think about it. The first studio was pretty much my own room with the webcam, and now I get to record in real studios, which is very exciting, and work with these amazing people. And it's all thanks to you.
Basically what we figured out, I could like address the camera right, I guess is fine, that the rhythm is like probably the most important thing in music, I think, right?
There she goes. You know I think it's time. Let her know. Ooh, there she goes. I don't think I can wait.
In about 10 years, you kids probably won't even know what this is anymore. Okay, I was born in 1983, he was 85. I remember strongly the first time I had a favorite song. This might sound silly, but Billy Joel's For the Longest Time, or The Longest Time. When I heard The Longest Time, I was like, what is happening? I was 8, I remember. Like, stuff you listen to as a kid, I think you hear it at the right age, at the right time, it just kind of seeps into what you do. From the time I was born until 97 is when we lived in New York. But we moved to LA in 93 because he was in a TV show called Dave's World with that guy from Night Court, Harry Anderson.
But if we stayed in New York and didn't ever go up to LA, I don't think
we'd be different.
The biggest way that we started, especially Reeve started doing music, was playing at jam sessions at these clubs in LA. And out here, we wouldn't have probably had the opportunity to go in at age 12 and play. They probably would have kicked us out.
You know it's easier said than done. You know it's easier said than done. And take your place.
In this situation, we definitely had strong opinions, and they were against each other at first, but I think that made something that it's combining two things that already existed, makes something that doesn't exist. That's what's cool about it. It's so different than I expected sonically, but I'm really happy with it. I mean, I can't imagine doing it another way.
There was kind of a direction we were going to go sonically with the album just over the past couple of years, and it's a detour, but I personally am so much happier with where it ended up. I feel like it's unique.
I think that's what this album is turning out to be. So it's good.
Hi, I'm Carrie Hilson, and the name of my album is In a Perfect World, produced by Timbaland and Polo. If you were lucky enough to attend Justin's Future Sex Love Sound tour, that's a tongue twister, You might have seen me on the silk screens during Tim's set in the middle of Justin's show. Tim comes out and I drop down and just appear on a 6-sided silk screen. So that was me singing Kelly Clarkson's Since You've Been Gone. Timbaland and I were up for Munster Single of the Year. And so we also performed at the VMAs because Timbaland, my brother from another mother, was the maestro for the show. My album is called In a Perfect World, ... And I say that to say that no one's world is perfect and no one in this world is. You know, no one's exempt from hardships and heartbreak, and I really wanted to do an album that showed the reality of life, that everyone has to deal with life. I was working around Atlanta as a writer, mostly, and I hadn't given up on the artist thing, but I just wasn't one to walk around and with a CD and say, listen to my demo kind of girl. I just, I knew that it would fall into my lap, kind of the way things just always happen for me. So, of course, I was working diligently, but as a songwriter. I wrote and co-wrote songs for other artists. So when I wasn't the featured artist, you might have seen me in credits for songs such as Icebox for Omarion, Take Me As I Am for Mary J. Blige, Ludacris featuring Mary J. Blige, Runaway Love, let's see, Diddy After Love, Ruben Studdard, Play Our Song, Britney Spears, Give Me More, and 3 others on her album as well. In my songwriting days, I brushed shoulders with Polo the Don. He actually was just starting to produce then. And he walks up to me and he's like, a little birdie told me you were dope. I was like, okay, who is that little birdie? He's like, don't worry about it. But, you know, he's like, who do you think would get you as an artist, get you to where you would want to be? And I said, well, I think the only producer that really could understand my vision sonically would be Timbaland, just because he's so advanced and he's so forward-thinking that I felt like I could just be on his planet, like, happily. Polo called me one day and said, Tim wanted to talk to me. And I'm like, okay, that's crazy. I was like, all right. So Tim gets on the phone, I sing for him. I don't even remember the song. It was probably, I don't know, but it was a quick one. And he stops me and he goes, let's do it. I'm down. I was like, you don't even want to see me? He was like, no, I don't need to. I mean, Polo told me you were kind of cute, so. I play him a song that I had that was called Strange Angel. And he said, this could be your Cry Me a River. He's like, this song is as big. I mean, I know what to do with a song like this. He was like, this could be as big as Justin's Cry Me a River. And I'm like, oh my God, this is what I want. Timbaland that day, after hearing that song, he's like, I want to work on this tonight. He's like, what are you doing? And I was like, nothing if you're asking. And he's like, well, can you come to Miami? I'm like, yeah, I can come to Miami. And he calls and books both of us tickets, Polo and I tickets to come down. We all flew back together and began working that same night. The next night, I got my first deal offer, which was a very high number. Keri Hilson is a real person just like you. I'm a woman, I'm emotional, I'm very, hopeful and spiritual and positive and confident and ever growing, ever changing, and I'm dealing with life the same way as, that everyone else deals with life. And like I said, no one's exempt from that. I think it's very important that, people use their platform to say a positive message as much as possible and whenever possible, which is another reason I wanted to go to the core of women's emotions. And even young girls could relate. If they can't now, they will later. Things that may go above their head. Because I like to give it to you a real dose of what I'm going through, because I know many, many people share that. But for me, it's important that young girls understand to be yourself. So this is Carrie Hilson. I'm finally performing on my own songs. Please support, go pick up In a Perfect World, and I hope you like it.
Hey, what's up? This is your boys NLT. We're on location in Fillmore, California, filming our brand new video for our brand new single, She Said, I Said. Check it out.
Don't know where to start, something ain't going right. Feel it in my soul, cause I've tried, oh baby.
The meaning of the song is it's about a tough breakup, and I think in every relationship, you know, sometimes you just have to know when it's time to end it and when it's time to walk away, even though it's hard. And it's difficult, you know, you just have to say, this is time to let go, and that's kind of what the song is about. It's set at a train station, it's a lot of performing, but I think it's gonna be a good video. I'm really excited about it.
It's causing too much pain. Baby, can you please just say, it ain't too late to work this thing out. Girl, this ain't easy for me, at least the truth is coming out.
We're at the first set of the video. The call time was like at 4 a.m.
Went to bed around 1:30, got up at like 3.
This morning I got up around 2 a.m. I went to bed around midnight.
Didn't sleep at all, so right now I'm like 25 hours straight and running.
And we have an all-day shoot today, so it should be fun.
It's going pretty well, dancing on the train tracks and trying not to fall through too many times. We have some battle wounds.
Falling from your eyes, that don't change my mind. Please don't make things more difficult than they gotta be.
Janelle plays the video girl. I guess we're kind of on the outs, ending our relationship.
My name is Janelle Parrish, and in this video I'm playing Travis's girlfriend. And it's about a relationship that I don't want to end, but he wants to end it because it's kind of time to move on.
The kiss was a little bit awkward, not because, you know, nothing to do with Janelle, but just there were so many people around. It was like a full crew, and they're like shouting instructions at all of us, and they're like laugh and giggle and play with their hair.
The truth is coming out. Why can't we make up like the last time? I'm just afraid to hear you say go. Say go. Baby, I'm sorry. I think it's time we let go.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Chris Stokes. I'm the manager of NLT, the video director for NLT.
Working with Chris has been the best experience because he knows all of us very well. We've been with him for 5 years. Knows exactly what we're good at and what we're not, so it works very well.
Chris is an incredible director, and he really brings out the best in us.
I'm very proud of them, and I love working with them. I think they're going to be huge.
We just wrapped our second video, She Said, I Said. Hope you like it. Enjoy.
I'm Daz from I-15, the biggest group that's about to pop.
I'm Flash, and I am part of I-15. I'm from Long Beach, California, LBC.
I am Castro from I-15, born and raised in Las Vegas, Nevada.
My age is 22. I'm a Libra, October 18th, 84. Yeah.
Favorite song? Favorite song is Lost in Love, baby. You already know.
Oh man, the single Lost in Love. Shouts out to J.R. Hudson, AJ writing the record, killer. The record's incredible.
J.R. Hudson, he's sick with it. I actually recorded like one song, did some backgrounds with him, just messing around. And I told him that, you know, I had this group.
Lost in Love, it's a really fresh sound. It's a different sound. The guitar riff is crazy, like, it's the whole record, the choreography we doing in the record, the way we present it is just crazy, man, you know? Lost in Love it's an ill record, man. It's ill.
I told my boys, yo, this cat has a dope record, man. You gotta hear it. So we brought him down there, played the song. They went nuts. They were like, I ain't never heard nothing like that before. We recorded it that night, and everybody we played it for thought it was a smash. Polo heard the record. He loved it, and he was like, you know where to go with it, you know what I'm saying? You need to come over, you know what I'm saying? You need to come mess with me. We was like, man, he had all the records. He was just coming up. It was like when he was first just really killing it, even though he's been killing it. When he just really got noticed for it, and he was really hot, man, and we knew it. He was like, man, I love the record. Everybody loves the record, man. He told us we had to get our swagger up, you know. Took us a few months. You know, kind of totally different guys from the first time we met Polo.
Daz is the real, he's a music guy. The dude's incredible with the music, producing, writing. Very, very goofy guy. He has a lot of personality, charisma. Flash the same way, got a lot of swag, street swag. You know, on top of that, the dude's rhyming capability is crazy.
It's an equal balance. It's like, you know, I do a lot of the rapping, I do a lot of the rhyming. Got Daz rapping now, you know what I'm saying? He making rap tracks, so it's just no question he should rhyme, you know? But he's an amazing singer.
Me, you know, like I said, I go out there and I feed off of their energy. You know, whatever they're giving off, I just play off of that. And that's me.
Castro, you know, he's a songwriter, man. Like, he's a natural born writer. Like, he puts a lot of emotion into this, so he brings a lot of emotion to it. I bring a lot of fun to it, and Daz is just, I mean, this is what he does, you know what I'm saying? So it's just 3 different vibes.
What makes I-15 is our own individuality, being able to run in sync with each other and still, you know, make one solid foundation. I think that's what really makes I-15.
It's a few reasons why I titled the album Here I Am. Well, one, it started, we were in the studio and a friend of mine played a reggae track from Bob Marley, The Sun Is Shining, and he keeps continually saying, here I am, and he's shouting it. And Leah Landon, who's part of my management team, was like, yo, you should name the album that. And I was like, yo, you're right. And it makes so much sense because people have been like, yo, where you at? Where you been? Here I am, I'm back, here I am. You wanted to see me? Here I am.
So what's the difference between this album and your past albums like Ride or Die or Scorpion?
It's a few differences. I think I always try lyrically to just be me. I don't try to do what the trend is. So that, I guess, is the same as far as the other albums, but the difference, I would say, musically, my ear has completely changed. It's a lot of Latin stuff, it's a lot of reggae stuff, stuff that I actually listen to. I listen to a lot of Latin music, I listen to a lot of Brazilian music, I listen to a lot of reggae, so you can hear all of those influences on there. Also, I didn't have 50 guys in the studio with me. You know, this was like my woman's album. This was like, I don't know, I orchestrated everything. I got to really say, and not that Ruff Ryders didn't let me choose or pick who I wanted to work with, but it's different when you're a woman and you are, you know, regardless of whatever, when you're around that many guys, you're influenced by them in some way. And so for me, this was the album that I could be in the studio with my pink slippers and, you know what I mean? Like my flowers and my incense and like not be getting teased and not have to worry about, you know, I don't know, a lot of input. I got to trust myself. I learned how to trust myself on this album.
So what's the overall sound, what's the feeling of this album? I know you said you have some reggae in there.
Yeah, I wanted to make the album that I listen to in my car for other people. I wanted to make that album that I throw on when I'm in the shower getting dressed to go to the club. I wanted to make that album that, you know, you can just sing to, that you could put on and be like, let me, whatever. If you want to do housework, whatever makes you feel good, I wanted to make that album. So hopefully people will feel good when they listen to it. So. Let's see. I have Sean Paul. I have, which is my favorite song, by the way. Sean Paul, Elon, who's on Interscope, Sizzla, T.I., Robin Thicke, who's on Interscope. Who else? Pharrell makes a little appearance on the song that we did together. You can hear his voice in it. I feel like I know I'm probably forgetting somebody, but I have some good collab. Mary J. Blige, who's on Interscope. So I kept it in the family, it seems like. And as far as producers go, I feel like I got the all-star hip-hop team, like Swiss Beats, Dr. Dre, Pharrell, Timbaland, Scott Storch. And I have some up-and-coming people, a guy named Rich Skills, who's amazing, who's one of my homeboys. And that's it.
Basically, we all met at Soundwave Studios. It's like this gigantic studio complex in West Oakland. You know, a lot of different artists there. And it's one bar, you know, so you got everybody getting drunk at the same bar. You got the cowboy with the cowboy hat getting drunk next to the little hyphy cat from the hood. And that's where we met. We met at the bar, you know, and basically started jamming together. I had already known Steve for some years. We met Dave at the bar, and that's how it all came together, you know. Started knocking songs out and just jamming, and everybody was loving it. Everybody was coming to check us out, so we knew we had something. We were on tour with the Black Eyed Peas and the Pussycat Dolls, and we ran into Akon in Atlanta. We were there for 3 days. Ended up getting in the studio, and we knocked out 3 songs. And, you know, out of everything that we here recorded, it was magic. It was beautiful. So, you know, you fast forward 8 or 9 months, and we're recording and recording. And Akon is like, I'm gonna take y'all under my wing. You know, I want to take y'all to the next level. And it's like, you know, that's it was like a voice from the heavens, because he just breathes melodies. It just comes out of him. So next thing you know, we on that plane, you know, out there recording it every day. It's like clockwork. It's like magic. Just pushing him out. You know, he knew how to harness what we had and point it in a direction, you know, that'll be beneficial to everybody.
He understands hip side. He
Yeah,
knows what
definitely.
we're about.
It was just a fit, you know. Our music mixed in well with theirs. We were a good introduction for them. We loved opening up for them.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
They're definitely awesome. Something to shoot for, you know. You see that and inspired you, like, man, you know, you can take music to that level, you know. And when you see that, you see the interaction between them and the musicians, because they have it everywhere. They got real musicians and they got the hip hop in there. They got everything. It's a nice suit, you know what I mean? Nice, and that's what we are, you know. We're a band that we don't have no boundaries. We do whatever we feel like sounds good to us. And then seeing them do it, it gives us like, wow, they're opening the doors for us. So we're definitely going to step in and try to, you know, incorporate that.
They say talk is cheap, so I'm gonna walk it. Check this out. I came from the trenches, trained with the best of them, grimed it out in the gutter, then rose above the rest of them. Trench coats, wrenches, living to learn lessons, breathing to reach greatness, won't settle for nothing less than it. You can't ignore me, I demand your attention. Send a message with a missile, shooting like an old western. I spit holy water, I bless them. And if there's beef, I address them, dress them and undress them. What's belief? Belief is when you fall and keep going, call and keep showing, lose it all and keep hoping. Belief is when you turn your anger into active motion, mixed with hunger and passion becomes the ultimate potion. Hey, what's going on? My name is Lons. I'm about to release my debut album entitled Truth Music. The music I make is really lyrically driven. A lot of hard-hitting melodies. Work with some great producers on my album. Have Aftermath, Focus, Che Vicious, Cool and Dre, 3-6 Mafia, Stargate. Right now, I think I'm adding a voice to a game where there's nothing really new and different. Female voice is not really present, so that's what I'm coming to do. It's all about honesty. You know, I came from the underground scene. I was 14 years old when I dropped out of high school. I went to work at Quad Studios. After doing that, I would perform at nighttime at all the underground open mic clubs. And I battled and I performed. And you know, you work your way up the ladder. That's what I did. It's a struggle. Every day is a struggle. But if you love something, you stop at nothing to get it. Snoop Dogg tour. Big things pop it, little things stop it.
What's up, everybody? I'm Jessica. I'm Janelle. And we're Prima J. We're getting on the set of our first video. It's called Rockstar. So get ready. Woo! Prima J. All day. She all day, baby.
A rockstar, a pretty little
been dreaming of this day since we were 5 years old, so I swear it's gonna hit me tomorrow and I'm gonna like cry.
Okay, prima in Spanish means cousins. Me and Jessica are cousins. We're related because our dads are brothers. That's how we're blood.
And Jessica and Janelle starts with J, first letter of our name, so we got Prima J. Me and Janelle have been dancing together since we could walk. Our family is big Dallas Cowboy fans, like huge Dallas Cowboy fans. So every game we'd like make a dance at halftime and do it all with our family, all of our cousins or whatever.
Everybody in the days, and that's the reason why they hate and treat us like some superstars, and only 'cause that's what we are. You know we're going really far, and y'all ain't even hate us all.
This is our choreographer, Rosero.
You hate us all. A rock star, a pretty little problem. You hate 'cause I'm a rock star, a rock star, a pretty little problem. You hate because I'm everything that you.
The girls are amazing. Wait till you see them. They're going for it. You know, it's a great privilege to work with an artist that really has the chops as far as singing, rapping, and moving and dancing. It's like, that's a choreographer's dream.
That's why it's so hard to get rid of me. I'm incredible, so unforgettable, so no one can take my place. I am unbreakable, highly flammable, so girl, get out my face. Oh my God, I'm going crazy, maybe 'cause.
Never thought I'd be here today, to tell you the truth. I seriously thought I was just gonna be a dancer because I've been dancing, me and my cousin have been dancing since we were young, you know? So it's really crazy, like just how everything happened. It happened so fast and so quickly, but I'm just so blessed. I'm so happy that I'm doing this because this is seriously my dream. I just thought it was always gonna be a dream for me, but it's actually happening now, so it's really cool.
A rock star, a pretty little problem. You hate 'cause I'm a rock star, a rock star, a pretty little.
She sings more than I do. She's the lead singer, and I'm the rapper. I'm the rowdy one. Yeah, that's
Well, Chilosa to us, Chilosa means it's kind of like hot, sassy, independent, confident girls,
Feisty.
you know, with little spice, spice, like when it needs to come out, you know.
Yeah.
Sweet girls, when it needs to come out, you got that spice added to it. It's confident, comes in all shapes and sizes, and there's a little bit of Chilosa in every woman, every girl. So
Chilosa.
See, that's how makes you want to say it, because it got spice. Chilosa. Thank you for watching the making of our video, Rockstar.
It's a rap.
That's a rap, man. Chilosa.
That's a It ain't my fault the boys keep following. If you were better, he wouldn't be wondering. I'm incredible, so unforgettable, so no one can take my place.
It started, I guess, just listening to my dad's LPs, which I guess most kids into music do. When I was younger, he had like loads of David Bowie albums and T-Rex albums and Blondie albums and things like that, and I really got into music just from those records, really. He bought me a Fisher-Price tape recorder for Christmas when I was 3 or 4, and my grandparents bought me a toy piano and a toy guitar, and it was all I needed to start the songs. Lay Down the Law is kind of our anthem, I'd say, that we'd like sort of like football fans to sing to each other teams, like we lay down the law, you know, sort of like a, you know. But the actual lyrical content in terms of what it's about is more inspired by sort of like physical relations between people when they see each other on the dance floor, and you know, like, you know, I caught you looking, and so I know the door's open, that kind of thing, you know.
I remember meeting Matt. He emailed everyone over the sort of internet system at Surrey University. So I agreed to meet up with him outside the Union building. And we sort of had a bit of a chat, and as he was chatting to me, I realised that he was circling me. So I was like, just met him, like within 5 seconds, he was like talking to me behind me.
Like a vulture?
Like, yeah, like circling like a vulture. So I just thought he was kind of a bit of a nut job. But
And then you decided that you would join the band?
Yeah, well, nothing better to do.
That's the risk. Everyone in the university got this email about this band, and it sort of said, I want to sort of get a band together, influences, Blur, and in brackets had Damon Albarn, Gorgeous. And I thought it was a girl group I was joining. I was like quite excited about the sort of prospects of being in an all girl band.
We recorded the drums at a place called Conway. That allowed Jimmy to go home and sort out his life. And then the rest of us stayed there and just added onto the drum tracks, and that's how we recorded it. It was quite there was no chaos or anything. It was just like we all knew exactly what we were doing. You know, like, Jim, do the drums, okay, you do the drums. Right, we'll do this, we'll do that. And it was so smooth, you know. I think the songs were quite there's a lot of harmonies in there which came from the Beach Boys, and I always used to dream about the California sun and like that whole sort of idealistic kind of lifestyle that the Beach Boys portrayed, although if you read into it they didn't really have that, but it was like that sort of myth that we wanted to capture. Funny because like we tried to make the album sound as coherent as we could, because before the year before we started like gigging and stuff, I'd probably say that a lot of our songs were really strange, because like when we were like Matt Rock and the Others, which was our old band when we used to play a song called For Your Love, which was basically a funk workout, wasn't it? And next to like maybe Message from Muse, which at the time was more garage rock. Yeah. And it was just a bit random. I don't think people really understood us, and I think at the moment people are still kind of like getting to grips with what band we are, which is great, because I don't ever want people to just go, oh, they're in this scene here, or they're this, you know. I think it worked really well for other bands. It worked well for Bowen, it worked well for the Beatles. Drama Queen is a song about a group of people in a certain scene in my hometown that used to go to some hideous club. I went there a few times, and I kind of just stood in the corner and watched these people. It's not an aggressive song at all, it's more of a commentary, really. I mean, this album has got a sort of a concept around it in terms of it's all about emotions, and I've been interested in sort of writing about like life today, you know, and like maybe doing an album that we can maybe put underground as kind of time capsule, and like maybe in 200 years people can find it and like this is what life was like, and we're putting it to music today. So that's kind of where I hope we're going.
Hello, we're The Feeling. The Feeling, who are The Feeling?
I would describe our music as sophisticated pop.
There are a few bands that are always going to influence us more than others, and I think the Beatles and the Beach Boys and the Eagles and Fleetwood Mac and certain really classy kind of rock acts.
I like having my CDs, although I do download music as well. If I really like a band more than just one song, then I will go and buy the album because I like to actually have it.
I can never find the CD I want because I have so many that it's just, where is that? Oh, I'll find it on the hard drive.
I think the modern man, Paul, here, represents probably the next generation of kids who didn't grow up with albums like we did. The listeners are driving everything, really, because they have the power to vote instantly whether they like something or not by clicking on it and buying it, and there's so many ways of finding music.
It forces you to be more creative across a whole album, because rather than writing one song and then filling it with a load of nonsense, you kind of have to write 12 songs.
Most artists are quite proud of what they produce if they're producing an album, you know, but with the internet it just means that your songs are all being judged individually. We have websites, we have a MySpace site and our normal website, and we have forums on there that we can speak to people directly.
You can see how people are reacting to what you're doing, whether it's an interview or a new song or anything, instantly.
It's nice feedback.
We have songs on our website that...
To put out acoustic versions and live versions. It's a nice way to give the audience something which is free.
People listen to music much more in a playlist format now. And I think that's generally, because I do it myself. I mean, I still love sitting down and listening to a whole album, but a lot of the time I just pick out all the songs I really like. And that's a very new way of listening to music.
A lot of people listen to a lot of British radio on the internet as well. I mean, around the world. They come to our shows and they say they've heard about us on British radio. So it changes everything.
Hello, my name is Lady Gaga, and welcome to the Starlight Review.
Beautiful, dirty, dirty, rich, rich, dirty, dirty, beautiful, dirty, rich. Dirty, dirty, rich, dirty, dirty, rich, beautiful. Beautiful, dirty, dirty, rich, rich, dirty. We got a red light, pornographic dance fight, systematic, honey, but we got no money. Is perfect while we're all getting shit wrecked. It's automatic, honey, but we got no money. Daddy, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, yeah. We just like the party, like to party, yeah. Bang, bang. We're beautiful and dirty rich. Dirty, dirty, rich, beautiful. Bang, bang. We're beautiful and dirty rich. Sound fanatic, pants tighter than plastic, honey, but we got no money. We do the dance right, we have got it made like ice cream topped with honey, but we got no money. Daddy, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, yeah. We just like to party, party, yeah. Bang, bang. We're beautiful and dirty rich. Dirty, dirty, rich. We're beautiful and dirty rich. Dirty, dirty, rich, rich, bang, 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 bang. Beautiful, dirty rich. Bang, 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 bang. Beautiful, dirty rich. Bang, bang. We're beautiful and dirty rich. Dirty, dirty, rich, beautiful. Bang, bang. We're beautiful and dirty rich. Dirty, dirty, rich, rich, bang, bang.
Thank you.